All right, let me go over the game just a little bit, and then we can move forward and look toward next Saturday, not tomorrow, but the next Saturday. We came out opening drive, and boy, I thought we marched the ball down the field well, and we missed a medium range field goal that we'd have liked to gotten to got a little momentum maybe going early, and then after that point, wasn't many more positives in the first half because Freddie Knighton, boy, he showed why he's the Sun Belt Conference preseason most valuable player with the way he ran the ball. Didn't throw it an awful lot, but when he did, he was very effective. But give him credit. He ran the speed option and got a lot of big yards, and we didn't do a good job handling the perimeter. Um, you know, um, Even though we didn't play well offensively there in the second quarter, late in the half, we got on the board, then drove down, scored again. So we were finally got some things going. The critical part of the game to me was the interception when we were in the red zone. It's fixing to be a 27-14 game at halftime, and if that would have been the case, we would have come back and obviously won the game by the way we played in the second half. That was critical. I thought our coaches did a great job of making adjustments at halftime. I just wish we could come out and play a little better in the first half. Boy, I tell you, second half was a totally different deal. We held them to 3 points defensively, and then offensively, I thought we really moved the ball effectively, and then but only scored 13 points. We moved the ball well, but would have liked to score some points. And boy, we had our opportunities, and kept coming up short, but kept getting the ball back again. And when we scored, if we'd have made the 2-point conversion, could have made it a one-score game with about 8 minutes to go in the game, all brand new ball game. So, we got behind the 8 ball, but we battled back. And I'll tell you the thing, I'm most proud, and I talked to our kids about this, and when you meet with your team, the first thing we always talk about is the positives, because there were a lot of positives from this game. And one of them continues to be how this team fights and doesn't just throw up the red flag, because they battled their way, got back into this. We were back in this ball game, make no mistake about it. We just couldn't finish some drives offensively to tie it up or to win the game. But love the way our kids are battling. That shows me that they've got confidence in themselves. We just got to do a better job of starting faster. How do we get that done? That's what we are trying to figure out right now. Because if it was that easy, you could just write a book and make a lot of money. And so so that's the challenge. But here's some things we continue to find. We continue to find out more about our team. You look at Jalen Nixon, I think the second player ever, if I'm not mistaken, to rush for 200 and pass for 200. That's strong. That is really strong performance there in the second half. I know he wished he had that interception back, and missed on some throws that he normally maybe sometimes makes, but got to give Arkansas State credit for some of those too. Sometimes they are credited for breaking up passes, not just bad throws. But I really feel like moving forward, we were learning more about what we can do and what Jalen can and can't do. And boy, was he effective running the ball, and then at times effective passing the ball. It hurt losing Jamal there in the first quarter. That didn't help things. Gabe became the go-to guy. Gabe and Al. Al ran strong, did a nice job again. Gabe Fuselier made an unbelievable catch on a fade pattern, reaching around the guy. That guy battled. He wanted the ball more. We probably should have gave him some more opportunities, but he can help us moving forward. I think Jamal is going to be fine. We found out it's just a sprain after a CAT scan, so he is fine. So we're looking forward to having him back in 2 weeks or for the next game. Defensively, Otha Peters, I thought, had a phenomenal game. I thought he was strong, physical, did some good stuff. Zach DeGrains, Dom Jones, two more guys that come to mind that played awfully well defensively, especially in the second half when we really got some things figured out. Like I said, our coaches made some nice adjustments at halftime. We just like to make them adjustments before the game, but we did much better. Stephen Coots, boy, continues to impress. We have got a weapon right there, and we hopefully, you don't want to have to utilize him all the time, but we did, and he was really effective. He caught a high snap from Guidry and turned it into a 64-yard punt, and he is just having a phenomenal season. He's leading the Sun Belt Conference right now. Our punt team is leading the conference in punt, And so we got to continue doing well there. A couple other guys, Trey Grenier and Montreal Carter and Shazier Malbrew, both just had phenomenal games with special teams, and we got to build on that too. I thought our special teams were really solid. Would have loved to have that field goal there in the first half and not throwing that interception. And then, boy, that's the difference in the game. That was the point difference in the football game right there. And so, but moving forward, I like this team a lot. We hadn't put it together for 4 quarters yet. I think we're one of the best second half teams in the country. Unfortunately, we're not very good in the first half. And this is not a 2-quarter game. This is a 4-quarter game. And until we figure 4 quarters out, we're going to continue to struggle. But the attitude of this ball club right now is determination. The attitude is focus. The attitude is they're upset because they know they're better. And we're looking forward to getting out to practice here in just about an hour and continuing the development of this team. A lot of football left to be played. Every goal is still in front of us that we have, that we have set. And so we've got an opportunity to still have an outstanding season and to prove a lot of people wrong. And but I do love the mindset. Elijah McGuire is another player I failed to mention. I thought they did a great job of really stopping the inside run. We missed Mike a little bit on the inside, but when he got on perimeter, and I thought Jay did a great job of getting him the ball in the second half on the perimeter, and you saw what he could do when we do that. He made some big plays, and he sort of carried his team on a lot of reps. He was spent when the game was over, so I appreciate his effort going a lot of times when he really probably needed a blow. So with that, we'll open up any questions as we get ready to face a tough Monroe team, a ULM team, to me, who's played the toughest schedule of any team in the conference, bar none. They've played Alabama, Georgia, App State, Georgia Southern, Tulsa. I don't know if there's another team, maybe in the country, that's in the Group 5 that's played a schedule like they've played. And so there's a reason. Don't let the record fool you. This is the same tough ULM team that we're accustomed to seeing, that gets after you. They're well coached, they'll be well prepared, and they'll be motivated for this game. So we got to have a great week of practice. Any questions?
When Jamal went down for the same foot he hurt last year, was there any kind of concern going through your mind, like, oh man, what's going on?
Oh, that was the first thing.
Yeah, and then hearing that it was just a sprain, is that something that is going to cause him to miss any more time?
Well, we hope not. He probably will not practice today, obviously, because the kids will practice today, and then the next practice will be Sunday. But just knowing he's going to be back was a relief, because when I first got the word that it was the same foot, when they came up and told me, you just had that same feeling like, here we go again. But that was if we've gotten any good news, that was good news. Now, hopefully can be effective, and he can get over this quickly. And Travis, our trainer, seems to think it won't be any issue.
What was behind, after going through with it, what was behind doing the slow start? They started like 2 to 17.
Yeah, a lot of the passes were not probably really high percentage throws. He just missed Jamal on a deep route. They were really taking away the short stuff, had everybody botched in, and we wanted to try to see if we could burn them, and we had them beat a couple of times and just couldn't hit them. If you can hit a couple of those, you change the game, and you probably soften them up and you get them out of what they're in. We just didn't hit any of those throws, and sometimes he just wasn't on early, and he got sort of into a rhythm and threw the ball more effective later. But in the first half, we just did not execute, not only Jalen, but to me the offense in itself. Well, poor execution, early, and why? That's what we're trying to figure out. Are we doing too much? Are we not doing enough? Are we making adjustments soon enough based on defenses when we come out and they're doing something totally different? And that's what we see each week. Everybody plays the read option differently, and you get a different defense a lot of times than what you see on film, because everybody has an option defense. And so, a lot of times you don't know what you're going to see until you see it. Then you got to make adjustments, and we got to make plays too, and got to make blocks, and and also you would like to play a little better defense, and that's sort of the name of the game. Is You don't have to score every time. There's an old saying that you want every series to end with a kick, whether it's an extra point or with a punt, but you don't want it to end with a turnover. And you'd also like, to punt, play good defense, and get the ball back, and keep working on finding answers. If you don't have them then, punt, play good defense, get it back, and that's football. But when you give up 3 scores out of your first 4 possessions, now you're down 21-0, and you really, instead of finding answers and just running your offense, now you're playing catch up and you're pressing. You're probably doing more than what you want to do as far as throwing the ball down the field instead of being patient and dissecting the defense. And that's what happens when you get down 21-0. You sort of get out of that, hey, let's methodically dissect them. You feel pressured, hey, we got to get back in this game, because if we don't score this drive, they may score the next one to make it 28. And so that takes you out of your game plan. So as much as it was not scoring offensively, it was defensively just as bad. I thought our defense had our worst half of the year. And even though they ran that zone option, which you hadn't seen a whole lot with Freddie, he really dissected us. And so, but we made great halftime adjustments, but we got to come out and play better defensively early, let our offense find its rhythm, find itself, see what's working, and make adjustments. To me, it was offensively and defensively in the first half. But in the second half, both sides made some great adjustments, and Jay dialed up some nice calls there in the second half that got us right back in the game.
Is that something that kind of snowballs then when the offense is going on? They had a lot of 3 and outs.
Oh, the first half, it was just about every drive.
4 or 5 3 and outs. When they're not moving the ball, that forces the defense to go back out the field, short break in between. Is that just something that causes that kind of snowball?
Well, especially when you don't get a first down. Now you're punting from your own 20 instead of maybe getting 2 or 3 first downs, punting from your 50, and they get the ball at the 10. But when you don't get any first downs, you're punting from your 20. Now they're starting at midfieldish, and with great field position, and that's what makes getting first down so important. And we didn't get enough first downs there in the first half. Too many 3 and outs, and obviously the 1 and out with the interception for a touchdown, and that was critical part of the game right there. And then, the other critical part of the game was the red zone interception that we threw. Those are 2 critical interceptions. That's a 14-point swing right there. The interception for the touchdown, and then we're on the 13-yard line with the chance to score, fixing to score, and then we give it right back to them. That's 14 points right there. And so, against good football teams, can't make those mistakes and get away with it. When you're not playing a good team, sometimes you can get away with mistakes like that. Not against good teams. And moving forward, there's a lot of good teams starting with this team coming up next week that we're not going to be able to make those same mistakes if we expect to win. We've got to clean some of those things up, and that's one of the main things we've addressed. Yeah, we tried to run the ball inside with Eli, just the zones and things like that we normally run. They had, just about all 9 people in the box except for the 2 corners that are out wide, and did a really good job. And we missed Mike a little bit as far as getting movement. Michael Quave on the inside is being able to get that movement and that good initial push, and that hurt his touches early. And then when you want to try to loosen them up and you throw a first down pass and you overthrow them, now you're 2nd and 10 instead of staying on the stick. So sometimes you got to think, is the juice worth the squeeze? You got to hit some of those when you take those shots. You take all those shots and you don't ever connect on them. Now you're a bunch of 2nd and 10s and you're off schedule.
When Nike got on the perimeter, was it more of a case of y'all were having trouble reading and reacting to him? Were you having trouble getting into position, or sometimes was it a case of guys were in position but maybe they missed tackle?
Well, it was a little bit of both. A lot of times, I tell you, our safeties, I thought, did not tackle very well. I thought it was one of the poorest games, tackling-wise from the safety position that we had, because we overran some tackles, and he's a hard guy to tackle. So I'm not just pointing the fingers at our safety saying I could tackle him any better. I can assure you that. At Friday night, and he makes a lot of safeties, gives a lot of safeties a lot of trouble, and because he's an exceptional runner. But you know, whenever you have somebody run the option, you got somebody for the quarterback, somebody for the pitch, and sometimes they block your quarterback player, and so then our quarterback player is not there, and so you know we didn't adjust to that early. We did in the second half, and it paid off significantly because we had some big stops. We got some 3 and outs, 2 or 3 in a row that gave our offense a chance to really get us back into the ball game, just like we did.
So you feel like in the second half you were able to kind of keep them contained in the pocket more and not let them get out?
Oh, much better. And like I said, that was some adjustments we'd made there at halftime to make sure we got that under control, because in the first half he really did a nice job. Give him credit. You know, he's an outstanding player. Yeah, you know, he's played solid all year. Don't get me wrong, but he really stood out. You know, the other night, that goal line stand, I think they had maybe 4 plays inside the 1. That was one of the best goal line stands I've seen in a while. That was a great job. Then they missed a short field goal, kept us right there in the ball game. That was a big turning point that could have been the turning point for the team. And I don't think we took advantage of that after that happened. And so, but that was a big stop by our defense. Yep, that's the plan moving forward. He'll only get better. He'll only get better as he gets more reps, and so. But that's where we're at right now at this time. And like I said, he played well. We just, you know, anytime you've got a 5th-year senior at left guard who's first team all conference, you know, Mike was a really important part of our team. Yep, same defense. Yeah, it's different. You know, our defense does a little bit of that, so we've seen it. We've worked against it. You see a lot of odd defenses now. You seem like more people now are playing odd than the even 4-man fronts, and so. But they do a lot of things with it. They're a pretty sophisticated scheme that you have to decipher the code, and it's tough to prepare for. I'll give them credit, and they're going to try to lock you down man-to-man coverage, and like I said, they've played a schedule that's been awfully tough, so you can't get fooled into that schedule thinking that this is not a good Monroe team or ULM team coming in. They're exceptionally talented, and will be prepared. I can assure you that.
The loss of Ringo and Hamilton from last year, is that really kind of start to show a little bit? It's like those guys got.
Well, I mean, I think any team that loses two guys that make it to the league once drafted, I think you're going to feel that effect no matter what the team, and especially us when we lost 2 guys that played 65% of the snaps. And our guys are battling, and they're getting better. Our front's getting better. I like our guys there. I think they're working hard. I think they're improving. And it's not just all, you know, the D-line. It's just everybody doing their jobs. And defensively, everybody's got a job to do just like on offense. And it's all about being gap sound, being gapped out. And one person gets out of their gap, all other 10 players pay the price, because now you're going to get a gain. What we've got to have, though, is when somebody does get gapped out, we got to have our safeties be able to come in and make good open field tackles. That's what safeties do. When a D lineman misses a tackle or misses his gap, you get 5 yards. When a safety misses his tackle, you get 50. So that's the difference. Those safeties have to make open field tackles, and we're working hard on tackling, and we're going to do that again today. And that's one of the issues that we continue to work on, and we've improved in a lot of areas with a lot of our other players. Some players not as much, but some players they have.
Is McCollum going to be healthy for that?
We think he's going to be healthy and be back. I tell you, you know, talking about our DBs, Savion Brown is just about to where we thought he could be. Man, you know, came in very raw, but boy, had a great play on the interception, sparked the team. He's physical. He's a guy that can tackle. Really, it's been a pleasure seeing his progress, as well as a lot of the guys on the team, and that's why I just know there's such a bright light at the end of the tunnel for this team. The upside for this team is tremendous. We knew coming in that we didn't have any experience at corner and defensive back, basically, and then we didn't have any experience at quarterback, and here our quarterback rushes for 200 and passes for 200. So we've got some guys coming on. We just need them to come on. You always want them all to be ready game 1, play 1. But just sometimes that maturation process just doesn't come as fast as you like. but it's coming. And I love our kids' work ethic. I love their effort, and their attitudes have been great. I mean, we're full speed ahead. We're just looking forward to getting to practice today and getting better.
Specific thing, I mean, you've seen him play bad in a half, you've seen him play great. Is this a thing where, you know, maybe that inexperience just starts to click and the light switch goes on, and that's kind of it, in a good way?
Yeah, and the thing, I think as the game goes on, I think that some of the young kids just sort of come into games a little uncertain about themselves, and as the game goes on, they get a little more confident as the game goes on when they make a play, and then they make another play, and we've just got to come out and play with more confidence early. And some of these young kids we've got some veterans that are just first-time starters that have been sort of career backups that are now starting for the first time, and so they're learning how to play the game. They're learning, their responsibilities, and they're improving. We saw it in the second half. We want to see it for 4 quarters. We're playing every game. We're playing strong 2 quarters, really strong. But every game we're playing them pretty poor for 2 quarters too.
The tackling by the secondary and maybe sometimes by the line, is it more of a correctable physical thing, or is it sometimes guys, like you said, maybe overrunning plays or being out of position?
Tackling to me is 2 things. One, tackling in a confined area can be taught that can be taught. If you're in a confined area with wrapping up, running your feet, head across, all the fundamentals. Tackling in open space, that's recruiting a lot of times. And sometimes that's your God-given quickness, your ability to change direction. You can improve that. Obviously, you can improve that, but you can't improve open space tackling as much as you can confined area tackling. And that's one area that we have improved. We got to do a little better job of taking better angles when we're in the open field, and put ourselves in better positions to make open field tackles. Sometimes we're flying up out of control, and a good player like Freddie Knight is just going to stick his foot in the ground and weak shoulder cut you because you overran it or took a poor angle. And so that's what a great player like that does. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.